kiddo. So, I'm going to tell you a story. And then I'll tell you what that story means to me. So there was this girl that was walking through the woods one day. She had a lantern. And as she's walking along, she's trying to protect that light, right? Wind picks up, snuffs the light out. In the darkness, she sees the wolf standing a little ways away, not approaching her, just kind of sitting back watching her. And so she picks up a stick to use as a club, and she's talking to the wolf, and she's like, "You back up now." And the wolf sits down, and he backs up a little bit and sits down. And he says to her, he goes, I've actually been making sure that you're safe the entire time. Now, her whole life she'd been told that wolves were vicious creatures and something to be feared, right? But this wolf, he's just sitting there, just minding his own business. And she's got the club, so she's feeling pretty well defended. And so she speaks to him and says, "What do you want?" And he goes, I just wanted to make sure you were safe." He goes, there's monsters in these woods. And so she gets a little bit scared, and he goes, well, he's like, "I also keep them safe from people." And that makes her pause for a second, and she's like, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Well, a lot of times people will venture into the woods and be afraid instead of actually trying to understand." He goes, "Wolves are very family oriented. We make sure that nobody gets left behind, that our sick and our lame are taken care of. When our elders get older, we bring food to them. And mostly we just want to stay in our little area and mind our own business." She goes, "Well, I never really thought of it that way." And he goes, "See, that's the thing. People say a lot of things when they're afraid. Instead of being afraid, learn and respect." And so he goes and he gathers some sticks for her so she can build a fire. She builds a fire, and night gets cold, and he brings the sticks, and he steps back a good ways so that she's not feeling like her space is being crowded. And he's like, "Well, you have a fire now. If you'd like, you can. I'll be on my way. You have a way of being able to light your fire, your lantern back up." And after hearing his story and seeing that he actually was caring, she invites him to sit with her. Now, there's several different things that I get from that story. First one is, something can look scary in the beginning, but doesn't necessarily mean it is. And that's where I'm going to be teaching you how to be very capable, so that you don't have to be afraid. You know, like I said, she picked up a club right off the bat, just in case. Also, respect nature. Understand, if you're going into the woods, you're going into territory that wasn't originally man's. There's going to be things in those woods. It's not to be afraid of it, it's to respect it and make sure that you're taking care of yourself in that process. I'm going to go get some more firewood, and then I'll come back and finish it. So the other part of what that is understanding that that wolf was able to provide her with warmth, right? Cold night, he was able to get her the sticks and such. Now you're going to be knowledgeable. You're going to know how to do things other kids ain't going to know how to do. And hopefully you'll be surrounded by family and friends and who are going to know how to do things. But when it comes to looking for your person, I'm hoping you're going to look for somebody who, if there was no money, that person would know how to take care of you, and vice versa. I'm also going to say this. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of crazy. Not the kind that's going to lead you off a cliff with them, but the kind of crazy where it's like, all right, we ain't got nothing. All right, I'm going to go eat some dandelion greens with you. We'll go for a walk. We'll go manifest some stuff. But I'm gonna stick with you. I ain't gonna leave you behind. I ain't got nothing to offer, but I ain't gonna leave you behind. But you're always gonna have something to offer, because you're gonna know how to survive. I'm gonna teach you how to survive and thrive. Even if that means camping, van life, having a homestead, having a home that's secure and works well together. Another layer of that is that wolf kind of represents the higher power. What I call intelligent design, source, spirit. There's so many different names for it. But it's acknowledging that there's a grand design to things. And respecting the design, because when you disrespect the design, or not disrespect, because you can always choose which way you want to go. But I'll tell you what, the riches come when you approach it with humbleness, when you seek alignment above everything else. But that solid base of, I know how to survive with absolutely nothing, that's a solid base. So I call that story Hope and Wolf. Because the girl could have tried to club the wolf out of fear, but she chose to listen. The wolf could have attacked her out of anger for what happened to his pack. But he chose a different way. He chose to help. And that's how we do things. That's how the world changes. All right, kid. I love you. I'll see you in the next video.